Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something that, well, touches all of us really. Teen mental health.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever, caught yourself wondering, why am I feeling this way?
Yeah, or is it just me?
Right. Or is this actually a problem?
Right.
Or maybe just feeling totally swamped by everything.
Mm-hmm.
Then this deep dive is definitely for you. And you're really not on your own with these kinds of thoughts and feelings.
Exactly. What we want to do here is really get into the heart of what our source material tells us about mental health.
Okay.
We're aiming for, clarity and some solid takeaways, but without leaving you feeling overloaded.
Yeah, that's important.
And the way our source approaches this is actually really down-to-earth, supportive, which makes it a great starting point, I think.
Okay, so to get us started,
Hmm.
our source lays out what mental health really means. And it's maybe broader than you might think.
Mm-hmm.
It's about your thinking patterns, your emotions.
Right, and how you navigate the ups and downs of daily life.
Yeah. It's your emotional, psychological, and social well-being, all kind of wrapped into one.
And what's a really helpful way the source puts this? It draws a parallel to physical health.
Oh, okay. Like how?
Well, just like your body can get run down, right? Or become unwell.
Yeah.
Your mind can too. And this helps us see that struggling with mental health isn't some kind of failing on your part.
Ah, I see. That's a good way to put
It's
it.
just, well, it's a normal part of the human experience, really. Acknowledging that our minds, just like our bodies, need care, attention.
That's such a key shift in perspective. So, okay, building on that, the source then explores some of the really common challenges teenagers face.
Mm-hmm. With their mental well-being.
Yeah. Things like anxiety, which
Yeah.
can show up as that constant worry that just won't quit.
Or even those really intense panic feelings sometimes.
Right. Exactly. Then there's depression, which isn't just, feeling sad.
No, it's deeper.
Yeah, it can be that persistent feeling of emptiness, maybe lack of hope, or just being completely drained all the time.
And it's interesting how the source points out that loneliness can be a real issue, even when you're surrounded by friends or family.
That's true.
It also highlights low self-worth, that kind of nagging feeling of not being good enough,
Ah,
and burnout, which can happen when you're under so much pressure, school, social stuff.
even your own ambitions, maybe.
Absolutely. And finally, just that feeling of trying to figure out who you really are, that identity confusion, that can also take a toll.
Wow, okay. It's a pretty comprehensive list. And it makes you realize how these things can kind of overlap and feed into each other.
Totally.
The source emphasizes that these aren't just like passing moods. They're genuine difficulties that can affect, well, everything. How you sleep, how you connect with people.
Right. And this is where it gets really insightful, I think. The source offers some specific signs, things that might suggest you're dealing with more than just an off day.
Okay, what sort of signs are we talking about?
Yes, these are really important to pay attention to, both in yourself and, maybe in people you care about.
The source mentions things like feeling constantly exhausted, even after you've slept.
Oh, yeah. That deep, tired feeling.
Exactly. Or a real dip in motivation for things you usually enjoy. Or just a general loss of interest in your hobbies.
I see. What else?
Big swings in your mood, unexplained sadness that just kind of sticks around,
Okay.
or starting to withdraw from friends and social situations. That's a big one too.
Yeah, pulling back.
Feelings of intense guilt or shame,
Mm.
difficulty concentrating, and even those really tough feelings like nothing matters anymore. Those are all serious signs.
Whoa.
Signs that it's time to, reach out.
And the source makes a really critical point here. You don't have to be experiencing, like, every single one of these
No, definitely not.
to warrant getting some support.
Yeah.
Even if just one or two of these are consistently present, that's a totally valid reason to check in with yourself
Absolutely.
and maybe think about talking to someone. So when we put it all together, just recognizing these signs
Mhm.
in yourself or maybe your friends,
Yeah.
that's a really significant first step.
It really is a huge first step towards getting the help that's needed.
Okay, so we've talked about the struggles, the signs.
Mm-hmm.
What about solutions? Does the source offer help there?
Absolutely. And it's so helpful that the source doesn't just highlight the problems, it gives practical strategies, actual things you can try that might make a difference.
Good. Like what?
Well, one of the first things it suggests is talking to someone. And it acknowledges, that this can feel like a really big hurdle sometimes.
It totally can. It feels huge.
Yeah. But the source suggests reaching out to someone you trust. Could be a parent, a close friend, maybe a school counselor,
Or a therapist, even.
or a therapist, exactly. And the advice for actually starting that conversation, it's so straightforward.
What is it?
Just something like, I'm not feeling okay and I need someone to listen.
Oh, wow. That feels so much less intimidating than trying to figure out exactly what to say first.
It really takes the pressure off, doesn't it? Off having to have all the answers or explain everything perfectly right away.
Yeah, definitely. What else?
Another useful strategy the source mentions is actually naming your feelings.
Naming them. How does that help?
Well, just using simple words like, I feel really unky today, or I'm feeling incredibly anxious right now. Sometimes just putting a name to it can make those emotions feel a bit less overwhelming.
Ah, more manageable, maybe?
Exactly, like you're starting to understand what's actually happening inside.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then there's the idea of writing things down.
Yeah, journaling or even just notes on your phone.
Right.
The source frames this as a kind of safe space. You can just let your thoughts and feelings out without any judgment.
I think that's a really healthy way to process stuff, without the immediate pressure of talking to someone else right then and there.
Definitely. And the suggestion to do just one small thing each day, that's also really powerful.
Especially when you're feeling overwhelmed.
Yes. When everything seems too much. Things like just making sure you drink some water,
Okay.
stepping outside for even a few minutes, get some fresh air,
Yeah.
making your bed maybe.
Simple things.
Really simple. Or just sending a quick message to a friend. These little actions can actually build momentum, make bigger tasks feel a bit less impossible.
I also really appreciated the source's point about taking care of your online spaces.
Oh yeah, that's so relevant now.
Totally. Like unfollowing accounts that consistently make you feel bad about yourself.
More muting those group chats that just get overwhelming.
Yeah. Actively shaping your digital environment to be a bit more peaceful. That's such good advice.
It really is. And then the source talks about incorporating simple mindfulness or breathing exercises.
Even for just a few minutes.
Yeah, even just for a few minutes a day. The suggested technique is breathing in for a count of 4,
Okay.
holding for 4,
Mm-hmm.
and then breathing out for 6. It's a really accessible way to help calm your nervous system down right in the moment when you're feeling stressed.
Okay, 4, 4, 6.
Okay.
Find it. Finally, and this is so important,
Yes.
the source emphasizes recognizing when it's time to reach out for professional help.
Crucial point.
If those really difficult feelings are sticking around for more than, say, a couple of weeks.
Or, and this is really serious, if you're having any thoughts about harming yourself,
Yeah,
it's absolutely crucial to tell someone immediately. Don't wait.
absolutely. And the source also clarifies something important about therapists,
What's that?
that they aren't just for adults or only for really serious problems.
Right. It's not like that.
They're more like guides for your mind.
Mhm.
And everyone deserves to have that kind of support available to them.
Exactly. Well said. And throughout all of this really helpful information, the source shares some really important truths to keep in mind.
Ah, yes, the reminders.
Yeah, the kinds of things that can be so easy to forget when you're actually going through a tough time.
Like what? Remind us.
Okay, so needing help is a sign of strength, not weakness.
That's a big one.
Healing isn't always a straight line. There will be better days and tougher days, and that's completely normal.
Uh-huh. It's not linear.
Your emotions, even the really intense ones, they are temporary, even when they feel like they'll never end.
That's hard to remember sometimes, but true.
And you are not defined by your anxiety or your depression or whatever you might be struggling with. That's not who you are.
So important.
And finally, there is always hope. Always. Even when it feels absolutely impossible to see it right now.
Those are such powerful reminders. Just hearing them helps.
They really are. And to help make these ideas more practical, sort of actionable, the source offers a challenge of the week.
Oh, cool. I like a challenge. What is it?
Creating your own mental health toolkit.
A toolkit. Okay, what goes in it?
It suggests including 3 things. 1 activity that helps you feel calm.
Like maybe listening to music or going for a walk.
Exactly. 1 person you know you can always talk to.
Right, that trusted person.
And 1 positive reminder, something you can tell yourself when things get tough.
I love the idea of actually writing those things down, keeping them somewhere you can easily see them,
Yeah, maybe on your phone or a sticky note on your mirror.
wherever works best for you.
Right. So that way, when those hard moments hit, you have a tangible resource right there to turn to.
That's a really proactive way to take care of yourself, not just reacting, but preparing.
It is very proactive. And the source finishes with a really important and encouraging message.
Yeah.
Just reminding you that there is help available, that healing is possible, that hope is always there,
Mhm.
and that you are absolutely worth fighting for.
That's, yeah, that's a really powerful and uplifting way to end things.
It is.
It truly is. So as you reflect on everything we've gotten into today, maybe take a moment to consider this.
Mm.
Which of these common struggles, or maybe which of the coping strategies really stood out to you?
Mm.
And maybe think about why you think that is. That little bit of self-reflection can be a really valuable step,
Yeah, definitely.
just in understanding yourself a little better and, taking care of your own mental well-being.